In a small town in northern Washington, there lived a young writer named Michael. He was fascinated by dark and mystical stories, often finding inspiration for his books in them, but he never imagined he'd one day find himself in the heart of a real mystery. His life changed after he ventured into a forest known locally as the Forest of Whispers. It was said that this forest was unusual. Among the trees, strange sounds could sometimes be heard, and those who got lost in it never returned. Legends of forest spirits and ghosts were passed down from generation to generation, but Michael dismissed it all as mere folklore meant to scare children. One day, determined to write a new book about mysterious places, Michael decided to visit the forest and study its atmosphere. He planned to spend the night among the trees to feel the place and perhaps find inspiration for his novel. But as soon as he entered the forest, things didn't go as he expected. From the very beginning, Michael noticed how strangely silent the forest was. Even the birds weren't singing, and the air felt so dense it seemed almost heavy. He continued walking, hoping it was just a natural feature of the place, but soon he began to feel uneasy. Faint whispers began to echo through the trees. At first, he thought it was the wind, but the further he walked, the clearer they became. "Help us. Don't leave. Can you hear us?" The whispers grew louder, and Michael couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. Suddenly, he stopped. Ahead of him stood an old, dilapidated house that wasn't marked on any maps. It seemed hidden, as if the forest itself was guarding it from strangers. Michael approached the house, and as soon as he did, the door opened on its own, though no one was visible inside. His heart began to race, but his curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped inside. It was dark, and the smell of decay filled the air. In the corner stood old furniture, covered in dust, and several books lined the shelves, but what caught his attention was the mirror hanging on the wall. It was strange, its surface was slightly cloudy, but he couldn't take his eyes off it. As he stepped closer, Michael saw a figure appear in its reflection. It was blurry, like a shadow, but there was definitely someone there. He turned around and saw more figures emerging behind him, ghostly shapes, staring at him with a mixture of surprise and sorrow. "You weren't supposed to come here," one of the figures whispered, and suddenly everything around him went dark. Michael felt a bone-chilling fear wash over him. The mirror became as black as a bottomless pit, and he couldn't tear his gaze away. At that moment, a loud scream echoed, and Michael, not knowing how, ran out of the house and into the forest, not daring to look back. He ran from the Forest of Whispers as fast as he could, and when he reached the edge, the whispers in his head didn't stop. Back in the town, he tried to tell his story, but no one believed him. He attempted to forget the nightmare, but every night, when he closed his eyes, he dreamed of that very house and those same silhouettes, who never stopped watching him. No one ever saw Michael again. He vanished, just like all the others who dared to enter the Forest of Whispers. The legend of the forest spirits lived on, and his disappearance became part of that chilling story.